All right. So anyway, for the benefit of the recording, my name's Dave Sandstrom, Beyond Organic Senior Vice President. We're going to share with you some pictures and some insight that we gained at the Beyond Organic Ranches a couple of weeks ago. This picture here is just a random picture of some of the cattle, some of the grass that they're feeding on up there. As you all well know, there are no grains in Beyond Organic Farm. These cattle eat grass and legumes and forbs and herbs and things like clover in the ground. And one of the things that impressed me most about the tour of the Beyond Organic Ranch is the investment that they've made up there. The size, the scope of the operation is impressive, and you'll see in some of the pictures that this company is well funded, and Jordan and the other co-founders um, are absolutely committed to our success and the success of Beyond Organic. And you know, if all we had was the product line we have today, we've really got something special in our hands. But there are plans in the works to really dramatically expand the product line and the tools that we are going to be able to use to share this message with others in the very near future. I'm sure you all have heard of the Swirl solution. That's just the beginning of what we're going to see roll out here over the next coming weeks and months. So anyway, let's go ahead and go through some more of these pictures here. Here's Jordan doing what he loves best, talking to us and talking about the farm. Behind him is some of the grass that's ready to be eaten by the cattle. I think the cattle are going to be moved over to this area the following day, and they have a system where they kind of rope. They don't rope them off, but they have a wire system where they keep the cattle where they want them to be kept. This is part of that system here. It's a mobile system, and they move it around from place to place. There's 9,000 certified organic acres up there, but the cattle aren't just allowed to roam randomly. They're kept in select areas, and what Jordan and the ranchers up there call high density grazing is what they do. And it really works out great because it's a way to really support the land, support the growing of the grass, and as well as feed the cattle in a really sound, nutritious way. That's me. We got a little picture going on with some cattle in the background. Nothing really special about this picture. I do have a broken thumb. That's a cast on my hand there. The cast is off, thankfully. Doing a lot better on that front. Here's another picture with a little bit more scope of the size of the land, with some cattle in the background and grazing. There's Jordan and Nikki Rubin, and there's my wife Michelle and myself. This was just on part of the tour. We're just driving around. All this land behind us. This is all part of the Beyond Organic Ranch. I'm going to change the setting here. It's kind of help a little bit here. And that was, of course, a baby cow feeding on her mom the way it's supposed to be. And this is the kind of thing you see going on with Beyond Organic Ranches. Again, this is a good picture that shows you the size of the land. All the land that you can see in that background there is the Beyond Organic Ranch. You hop on a four-wheeler or get in a van and you drive for a long ways and you don't leave the Beyond Organic property. It's amazing the size of the land here. And I'm gonna talk a little bit more about how they use that land. This is the house that the ranch foreman lives in. These guys are real cowboys. Okay, this is not an urban cowboy with no dust on his boots. These people out here, they ride horses and they're real cowboys. This is a picture of the uh, cafeteria, and this is where we ate every day while we were there. The 4 days we were there, and they have a full time chef that just prepared some amazing meals for us. We of course ate a lot of the Beyond Organic food, and we got to taste a lot of the samples of the food that's going to be coming out shortly. Tried the biltong as was released during the conference in April in Orlando, and that was absolutely delicious. It's actually an improved version of it from since April. It's a little bit more tender. That's going to be coming out real soon. Can't wait to. And in case you haven't heard of it, Biltong is Beyond Organic's version of beef jerky, and it is absolutely delicious. Travels well, and you guys are going to really love it if you haven't tasted it yet. It's incredible. Here is a picture. Now these pictures are just kind of in random order. I didn't have time to really set them up into a logical order, but we'll do our best with it. There's a picture of the one of the homes that's on one of the pieces of property up there, and this is the home that they're planning on building the orphanage in one day. This is going to be the future location of the Beyond Organic orphanage, where they're going to have some children here and learning the farm life and where food actually really comes from. There's another one of the buildings. There's some more buildings over there. And here's Jordan again doing what he loves best, talking in front of the camera, sharing information, talking about the cattle, talking about the ranch. Um, we're in good hands here with a leader like Jordan. I want you to know that this guy is pretty amazing. You might have seen the YouTube video where he was strumming his six string. In addition to starting a new company, raising three children, um, reading the Bible through each year like he does. He decided he was going to learn the guitar, and he led us in worship on Sunday morning at the cafeteria on the guitar and sang. And he's really a multi-talented individual, very dynamic guy. And when you get a chance to go to one of the meetings where you have a chance to spend some time with Jordan, you'll see what I'm talking about. He's just a natural born leader and a real solid guy, just really just full of integrity and passion for this message. And we're in good hands with Jordan at the helm of this company. Here's a cow just grazing in what we call that high density grazing. Now they section these sections of the land off, and they keep the cattle um, uh, really in a compact area. They have about I would say maybe 100 cattle, 100 heads of cattle. Um, that will be grazing on about 3/4 of an acre, something along those lines, and they'll devour that grass in about 2 hours, and they just mow it down. Everything you see there, they just mow it down. It looks like a when they get through with it, it looks like a commercial mower came through. But that's the way God designed it. The animals, as a ruminant animal, they're supposed to graze on this land to tend the land. So that they cut the grass down. So when the grass gets cut down short, it grows back more richly and more thicker and more nutrient dense. Another one of the things that cattle do is in a natural way is the land has valleys to it. There's peaks and valleys, a little bit of a hill to it, and just through the natural gravitational force with water, the nutrients tend to get washed down into or pulled down into the low-lying areas. So what the cattle do when they graze on the greens, they pick up that energy, and then when they go into the higher areas, they have to excrete and urinate, and they refertilize the land in the higher areas, the higher elevations, and they carry those nutrients and support the soil and the growing of grass just by doing what they do naturally. Here's another picture of them just devouring this land. These are bulls, and for the most part, there's some female cattle here as well, but they just absolutely devour this grass. When they know that the wire is going to be taken down, they can't wait to jump over to that land and just start just chowing down. When you watch the female cows graze, it's a little bit more dainty, a little bit more like a woman would eat at a table. When you watch these bulls, you know, devour this grass, they're a little bit more aggressive, and they really it's more like as Colt said, it's more like Colt Morton said in his call the other night. It's more like guys devouring some wings and a few pitchers of beer. That's the way these cattle go after the grass. Um, One of the most important things about growing grass is getting water to the soil. And we're going to have some pictures here of the irrigation system that Beyond Organic has put in place. Um, Here's some more of the high density grazing. Another one. It's quite an experience to be right on top of these cows when they're grazing. They're just making a lot of noise, and I have some video of this too. It's pretty exciting to watch. But that's what they eat right there. That's the good stuff. Um, There's me petting one. They don't care. They just want to eat. That's their main function. Like there's my wife Michelle doing what she does best, talking as well. There's me doing my best impersonation of a cowboy. Um, there's a sign of Meow Organic Ranch headquarters. This probably should have been the first picture, but there's the brand over there to the left. It's the O stands for organic, and the arrow, of course, stands for beyond. So that's the Beyond Organic brand. Now this is a pretty exciting part of the tour. This is the dairy parlor. This is a brand new building, and this thing is I don't know how many yards long, but this is a big building. This is put up brand new, built by Beyond Organic here on the last year or so. Pardon me, and have to have a little bit of a mossy here while I'm talking about this. Excuse me. This is where the Amasi and all the dairy is produced. And this building, from what I understand, is it's about a $5 million building, and it's absolutely state of the art dairy and creamery. Most dairy farmers, they'll milk their cows, but then they ship the milk off to another facility to be processed and made into some kind of a product. Well, Beyond Organic does everything in house because they want to maintain that quality control. And the regulations say that a dairy has to get their milk from cow to off the farm within 48 hours. And then it has a travel time. And then it gets to the creamery where they have another 48 hours to process that dairy and turn it into something different. Beyond Organic does it all in 48 hours because that's just the quality they're committed to. This is the path that the dairy cows walk down. Again, they're herded up by a real cowboy on back of a horse, and they're brought into this area where they'll get up. Start off maybe two or three wide here in this area, maybe four, and they'll eventually make it into a single file line. And I'll show you some of those pictures here in a minute. This is I turned around and I took this picture, then I turned 180 degrees and turned around and back into this is where the pasture is, where the cows spend their time grazing and drinking. And here's part of the dairy parlor, but I want to see if I can get some pictures here a little bit further down the road for you. Um, yeah, here we go. Get this picture here. So here they are filing in, and these cows are happy. These cows are not at all agitated. They enjoy coming into the dairy parlor to get milked. Um, Here they line up, they get into the gate, and they're like, okay, here we go. I mean, these cows are not fighting; they're cooperating, and you can tell it looks like they genuinely enjoy going marching in here and getting milked. It's a pretty amazing thing to watch. But here they are, all in place. And one of the things they do is this person down here, they wipe down the udders. They make sure that that area is nice and clean. And of course, the area down here is completely sanitary as well. The reason why it's a little foggy here is I'm taking this picture through glass, and there's a little bit of condensation because it's cool down there. And it's relatively humid this time of year. But anyway, this is an extremely clean operation. If you've ever seen pictures of some of the industrial organic farms, you'd be appalled at the conditions. But if you ever saw this operation work, you'd be amazed at how clean it is. Um, let's go back. I missed a few pics there. Let's go back a little bit. See where I'm at here. Oh, that was too far. Okay. Sorry about the random order here, but okay, back inside the dairy parlor. Here's one of the pictures. Okay, the milk goes into these big giant vats. We'll see a picture in a minute. And as soon as it comes out of the cow, it's cooled down to 37 degrees immediately to preserve the freshness. And over here is the vats they use to ferment the cheese. And here is where the curds and the whey are separated, and this is where they make the swirl of beef, right in here. So that's the inside of that big vat there. I was impressed with the air conditioning system in here. It's all climate controlled, and this is obviously a big part of the expense here is controlling the humidity, pardon me, and the temperature inside this facility. It's uh, it's impressive. Um, Here's another vat where they have the milk. I'm just standing on the floor here. I just thought this is interesting. This is the drain. That's the floor, and that's the drain. I mean, it's this. I mean, it's cleaner than a hospital setting. I mean, this is just astounding to me that you can have a facility like this that is absolutely spotless. I mean, it was just amazing. Here's the one of the electronic temperature controllers and humidity controls, and or whatever you want to call it, to control the environment inside the cheese vats, which I thought was pretty impressive. There's the big vats that the milk goes into after the cows are milked. Um, and get an idea of how expensive this facility is. I mean, the stainless steel here, the plumbing, um, the mechanisms here to move the bottles and fill the bottles. It's just it's amazing how this all works. That is Trent. He's the ranch foreman. Very very knowledgeable guy, and a pleasure to speak with too. Just a great human being. Here's some more of the equipment. This is where the bottles actually get filled, and after they're filled, they get out on this conveyor belt over here and transferred into the next room. There's another picture of the fermenting vats. And by the way, Beyond Organic ferments the dairy in stainless steel. Um, there's other big farms. I'm not going to mention the names, but big dairy farms and creameries um, that ferment dairy, but they do it in plastic. And we all know the problems with the BPA and the other things with the phytoestrogens and the xenoestrogens that go along with being fermented in plastic. Beyond Organic does it in stainless steel. A significant investment. And here's where the bottles come down the conveyor belt, and after they've been labeled. And by the way, the labels get shrunk onto the bottle, and it does not change the temperature of the contents whatsoever. It's done in such a fast, efficient manner. Then a case is filled, and it goes through here to the final storage area. And once again, I was impressed by the air conditioning and refrigeration. There's some of the refrigerant fans, and here we are standing. This whole room is a refrigerator. The whole room. I mean, it's probably 50 feet across. I mean, this is amazing to me. The size and the scope of this facility. Beyond Organic has some amazing capability here um, to produce. There's some of the bottles that are all familiar to us with the Yamasi and the Suero. And here is where the cheese is being fermented. Again, completely climate controlled. You might have heard of some of the cheese being made in years gone by. They store cheese down in a cave because there's a more consistent temperature and humidity level down there. Well, Beyond Organic does it inside a gigantic building with very very expensive and sophisticated climate control equipment. Again, here's a one of the electronic control panels governing all that. And this was an interesting thing. I thought this is a bug light. They want to make sure there's no flies or insects in getting in our cheese. So right by every door, they have one of these blue lights with a sticky back on it. Of course, there's no pesticides in Beyond Organic Ranch, so this is the way they control the flies, keeping them out of the dairy, which I thought was pretty cool. Again, this is a shipping dock and a loading dock. Again, I'm just amazed at the cleanliness here. I mean, the food's not even being processed here. By the time the dairy reaches this place, it's already in the bottle. But still, the cleanliness here is just it's impressive to me. It's pretty amazing. This is the older um, area where the cheese is fermented. This is where all the cheese that we've tasted here up to now has been fermented. The cheese that was fermenting in that larger room that I showed you a moment ago, that cheese is yet to be shipped. It's not ready yet. So as good as this cheese is, it's going to get even better with the new facility. There's yours truly again. It's just a block of cheese. Just take a picture of it. That's the way it ferments and ages. This is another picture. Should have gone with those other ones where the cows are being rounded up and into the dairy milking parlor. Again, very cooperative, very docile, in a very orderly um, way. These cows go in and out of the milking facility. It's amazing to me how they get these animals to just actually really enjoy this experience. And there she goes, one of our beyond organic milk producers. So we saw these pictures. Okay, this is the exciting part of the tour. This is where they have the new cafe area. When we were there, the morning that we were there, which was May 20th, there was four calves born before noontime, and these calves they come out of the womb and they stand up and walk. It's pretty amazing how developed they are when they come out, and you probably know, but it's worth repeating that Jordan has traveled the world over looking for the correct genetic profile for these cows, and these cows are they're being bred, and they by the way, those yellow tags in their ears, that means that they are certified organic, born on a certified organic ranch. um, so anyway, just give me just a second here, a little bit more technology. Hey, Marcia, you are unmuted if you want to say something. Marcia, are you there? Marcia, can you hear me? I guess not. I'm going to go ahead and mute you out again. Um, anyway, we'll hopefully hear from Marcia and Mike Melvin here at the end of the presentation. But these cows, they are so much stronger and bigger and thicker when they're born, that they have to take these cows that are the correct genetic profile. They have to take them and put them in a separate area, because the cows that are born to the weaker cows, weaker genetic cows that haven't yet gone through the correct breeding, they're just smaller and weaker, and they don't want these cows to trample them. I'll show you some of that in a minute. Here's some of the cows that are a little bit older. These aren't brand new, but they're very young. One of the ranch hands there is a guy that just works incredibly hard. Now there's Michelle. These cows are a couple of days old right here. These little baby calves. Um, and there's me petting some animals. These cows were born that morning. These are just a few hours old. These baby calves right here, and they all get their ears pierced. That's of a kind of a current trend, huh? But they want to identify them, and the green is a female, and I mean, I'm sorry, the yellow is a female and the green is a male, certified organic. Um, Here's some more of the cattle. The calves are just a little bit older, getting ready to. They're training them to get out into the pasture and graze on grass. Um, Here's some stored hay. Again, no grains on the Beyond Organic Ranch. When they need some hay, it's there. And there's the tagging system. Again, this is 520 was the May 20th was the day we were there. This cow was born that morning. Pretty amazing, pretty fascinating thing how robust and energetic these little animals are. And here they're getting fed mom's milk. And there's me and Dave Johnson. If you haven't seen Dave Johnson, he's the marketing guy. Great guy, great individual, great human being. Um, and of course, we were there with the Leadership Advisory Council 2012. And there's Michelle and I, my wife and I, and behind us is the spring, the freshwater spring that's on the land. We had to drive a couple of miles, I think, in a van to get to this area, all on the Beyond Organic property. But right out of the ground, this water just comes bubbling out of the ground and forms a stream, and it's just fresh, clean water. And this is the water that they're using to irrigate the farm. And I haven't yet found those irrigation pictures yet. I'll have to go back to the beginning here in a minute. Let me see here. Here's the cottages that we stayed at, the little hotel rooms at the ranch. Okay, here's the irrigation. I wanted to mention this. Beyond Organic's not taking anything for granted. Um, you know, any farmer is subject to rain, and sometimes it doesn't rain as often as you want it to. So Beyond Organic has irrigated something just shy of 1,000 acres of land. and these are gigantic sprinklers that are portable, and they move them around to where they need them and where they know that the cattle are going to be grazing. Um, and this is really one of the things that really separates Beyond Organic from the other farmers out there, is they want this grass to grow. They're not taking anything for granted, and this is one of the things. If you read the regulations on grass-fed cattle and grass-fed dairy, the intent is they're supposed to be grazing on herbs and legumes like the Beyond Organic cattle do. But there's a giant loophole in the regulations, and they say, well, if the welfare of the animal is in jeopardy, you can feed them whatever you want, and that's what farmers do. People that don't have the commitment that the Beyond Organic has, they don't have the irrigation, they don't have the investment in this kind of equipment, so they just bring on the grains. Let's feed them grains and let's mess up their pH and mess up their CLA levels and their omega 3 to omega 6 fat ratio. I'm sure you've all heard that before, and but it's absolutely true. And even these ranchers that are talking about doing it right and trying to feed them grass, there's times of the year where they can't because they don't have the commitment. And Jordan told me this, and this is just absolutely true. There's a lot of enlightened farmers out there that don't have the resources, but Beyond Organic has combined resources and vision in a unique fashion. This company is like no other. They have the resources and they have the vision, and they're absolutely committed to top quality. And that's one of the cool things about being involved in this company. There's some more of the irrigation. Very impressive stuff. There's another, just a picture of one of the little roads here. You hop on a four-wheeler and go riding around the Beyond Organic property. It's beautiful, and it's just amazing in its size. I want to go back to that picture we had of the Leadership Advisory Council. One last thing in closing here, and that is, here we go. Of course, that's Jordan and Nikki and their son Joshua up top there, and here we all are standing. Jordan and Nikki are sitting on top of a bale of hay, and there's Jordan. He doesn't just stand in the back. He rises to the top. There's Colt Morton standing next to him. Colt is 6'6". Okay, so they're up there. Okay, and Jordan is just being Jordan. This is not a show. This is not being egotistical. That's just Jordan being Jordan. He's a leader at heart, and he wants to stand out from the pack, and that's what he does. And it's not in an offensive way at all either. It's just Jordan being Jordan. So anyway, I'm going to try to open this up and see if Mike or Marcia have anything to add here or any questions. Mike, are you there? No. Okay, hang on. Let's see if I can.
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mike.
David, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I'm enjoying the pictures of the farm.
All right, great. Marcia, are you there?
How about Marcia?
Hey, Marcia. Great to have you on the line. So, any questions, comments, anything we can add here?
I think that's a good-looking group of people there.
I do too.
And that's just the third of them. There was
right.
Some a week before us and some a week after. I didn't see any pictures of us riding the horses.
No. I actually didn't. I didn't ride horses. I thought it would be wouldn't be too wise with the broken thumb.
Okay. One thing I'd like to say, you did a great job, and thank you so much. I've had texts coming to me saying this was great. Wish we had publicized it more. So maybe we can do it again next week and promote it.
Yeah, okay, we can do that. I've recorded this. If the technology works, we should be able to have a recorded version of this. So
Okay.
that'll help.
And the other thing is, when I do the questions, are you presently buying these categories of products? Do you know who makes them or where these products come from? I think when we go to the ranch or we see these pictures, we get a big picture of, yes, we do. We saw the land. We saw how it was made. But as I was even going through this with you, looking at the buildings and seeing the cheese and the cows and them eating the grass, all of that showed me the reality and the awesomeness of what we're all a part of.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's one thing to hear about it; it's another thing to see it.
Absolutely. This is awesome.
Yeah, It really is. And again, I want to reiterate that that Beyond Organic has the vision and the resources to implement that vision, like no other company. And
That's right,
the
absolutely. Uh, David, I might say on the far left of everyone's screen is Jordan's mom.
right.
And then I don't know if a lot of people may not have met my husband. I'm kind of peeping out there behind David
I'm gonna point to
Bowman.
you. There's Marcia,
Yeah.
and
And then
there's
Andy is
Andy.
standing in front of Colt.
Hmm.
And if you'll, there's you and Michelle. If you'll come
And
across, that's
Michelle.
my sister Dinah from Pensacola, Florida.
Right there.
And then Shannon Johnson, of course,
Shannon
and her
Johnson.
husband Dave behind
There's
her.
Dave.
And that's my daughter Michelle,
Hmm.
and her husband Jeff behind
There's
him,
Jeff.
behind her.
Hmm.
And then we have Jason and Sherry Dewberry.
Jason and Sherry. Yep.
And then that's Dave Johnson's dad, Bill. I don't know if Bill's on the call
Right.
tonight
Right.
or not. And
Here he is.
I don't know how my brother-in-law got way down there, but he kind of bonded with Bill Johnson. So
Yeah.
that's my brother-in-law, Hal Tootin. And then we have Denise and Kenny Duke
Right there.
and Ruthie and John Norton.
Yep. Great people.
And on the front we have Kim and I'm sorry, I've gone blank. Danny Butler.
Danny. Hmm.
And then I forgot Gail Bowen down there by her husband David.
Over here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and you pointed out Jordan and Colt and Nikki and Joshua. So,
Right.
and a few people were missing, but that was the night of the. I don't know if you said that or not. That was the night we had a camp out and a sing along, and
Yeah.
really had a great time there.
Yeah. It was really nice. We had a cookout. We all went down. This was near the spring that I showed you a moment ago, and we had a cookout there. We had some of the new food, which was awesome. Those sausages were absolutely incredible. They went fast, didn't they, Marcia?
I did. We can't wait to get those.
Oh man, I'm telling you what, I can't wait. That is going to be a huge hit with my family. Um, then we had a musician come in with a guitar, a professional musician, and we had a sing along and a campfire. It was a real nice experience. It was just a pleasure to be
Excellent.
there.
And we want everybody on the call that wasn't in this picture to be there next year. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's got an equal opportunity here. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you sharing. I know this was a last minute thing, but we appreciate it so much. And if we could do it again, and maybe some of the people that are in the picture could send you a few of their pictures, and we could add some shots that weren't in this one, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Real good
So
idea.
anybody in the picture, if you're listening, if you would get some pictures to Dave Sandstrom's email, then maybe he could incorporate them into the virtual tour. And would y'all like to do it again next Thursday night?
Well, next Thursday I'm going to be in the air again.
Well,
Um,
Mike, can you facilitate next Thursday night?
Yes. I guess. If we can work it out, we will.
okay.
Okay.
All right. And for anybody that doesn't know my email, if you want to send me a picture, my email is John, John, 1010 at me.com. John1010 at me.com. Me.com.
Okay, and I do want to thank you again for doing this at last minute. You're such a tech guy. I appreciate it so much. And I also want to remind everyone to, if you've not registered for the Blue Ridge event, which is July 20th and 21st, you'll get to see that part of the Beyond Organic properties. And it's close. It could be a weekend trip, or especially if you have contacts in the Atlanta area. We'd love to see you at Blue Ridge July 20th and 21st. There will be an opportunity meeting on Friday night and training on Saturday. So once you see it, it just gives a bigger picture to what we have before us, the journey that we're on, and the reality and awesomeness of it. To be able to see the properties and to be able to tell people, I've been there, I know it's real, I've
Right.
seen the water, etc.
Right. Right. Well, I'm going to be there, so I'm sure I'll see you there, Marcia.
Okay, we're looking forward to it. And I know we have people from Florida say they're going too. And so I think it'd be a great trip to encourage your team members. When people can see the real, actually see it, walk on the property and see it, then it just makes more exciting, makes the journey more exciting. Thanks again, Dave, for being for doing the call for us
Sure
tonight.
thing. I just want to add one more thing. I heard this morning. I was listening to a webinar, and it was Joel Salison. He was featured in the movie Food Incorporated, and he has a farm up in Virginia. And he said, you know, you should go visit the farm that you're buying your food from. And he said, if you have to call 6 different people and put on a radiation suit before you can visit the farm that you're going to buy your food from, I would reconsider consuming that food. But you know, most farms are pretty toxic places because they use harsh chemicals and harsh pesticides and herbicides and fungicides. You know, and the farm workers are subject to all kinds of problems with, you know, health problems as a result. You know, in the organic ranch, there's none of that, and we know that firsthand.
That's exactly
Been
right.
there. Yep.
Proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, me
Thanks
too.
again, Dave
Okay.
and Mike, for helping put this on at the last minute. And guys, get your pictures to us, and this conference call is officially over.
Good night.